Wow, well, hello everybody. Welcome. Sky Tour live stream on March 22nd, 2022. It's so good to see all of you out here. With me, as usual, is our good buddy, Darrell Mason. Hey there, Darrell. How's it going?
Hi, Mark. I'm good. You? Hello,
I'm
everybody.
fine. I'm fine. What you see right here, this is Sirius. This is very serious. I took the star Sirius and I sent it up just to give it a try here. And I did a long exposure of 75 seconds just to see star quality. And as you can see, we've got some pretty good star quality. We're star quality here, man.
Hey,
So, yeah, right?
lots of class, mostly low.
Whoa, bops. And he's probably right. So anyway, guys, welcome. And this is
Me, anyway.
No, I mean, you know, that goes for both of us. I got it, you know. I heard it. So, I just took this picture of Sirius. This is a 75-second image of Sirius, okay? And it keeps adding. It's a stack. One thing to notice right off the bat, first of all, besides the fact that it's not, perfect yet, and the reason it's not perfect is because the sky still has some brightness of the setting sun, right? So it's not perfectly dark out there yet, and we're still in what's called evening twilight. All right, so we will have a little bit of brightening in the sky due to the setting sun. It's still going on because of the, setting the clocks ahead. We end up having to go an hour later. But as you can see, the horizon out there, this is a fairly realistic representation. The horizon out there still has some brightness to the west, and we're seeing that with the blue. Hello, Izabela. It's good to see you. And
Yay.
It's good to see Heidi Gadd is here. Hey there, Heidi. How you doing? Heidi's amazing. She's got so many talents with social media. She's incredible. She's full of ideas. I love her ideas, and I just don't have the time to implement all of her ideas. But man, if I could, I think we'd be superstars, you know. Daisy and Zoe Amethyst are here. Genghis Khan is here. Renee Cruz, how are you? Anahata77, otherwise known as Bonnie, is here with us tonight. It's good to see you as well. And I am happy to see, let's see, we got rock stars with us tonight. Yeah. We had, Bonnie was first. She was the first one in here tonight. I guess, people need streams, right? And they need to have some kind of connection with the streams. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to make this stream something that everybody can have fun at and hang out with us in, And so that's who's here right now, unless there's somebody out there lurking and not saying anything. Bobby Burgess is here. Hey, I see you, Bobby. Nice to see you. Just so you know, I've got two screens. This is the Observatory live feed, and this is the broadcasting feed. So I'll be going like this a lot. And I'll be looking at the Observatory feed, but the camera's down here. So you have to pardon me for that. All right. So I want to say also to the two Katies and to Chris DePerno, Katie Grabowski, and Katie Cook. They did a really good show tonight on MUFON What's Up. That's their show it was actually 8 to 10 Eastern tonight. And tonight, of course, is a Tuesday night. And so on Tuesday nights, 8 to 10, MUFON What's Up is on. And they do a great job. And it was a good show tonight. I got a lot out of it. I see Greg O'Brien is here. Hi, Greg. Zadarak, how's it going? Good to see you guys. And so I want to, we're still here waiting for the sky to get a little darker. And as you can see, it has like this weird vignetting going on. This is because the sky has some brightness left in it. And I'm actually subtracting out the differences in the way the screen looks because of the way we do something called a flat field, where the center of the sensor is usually brighter than the stuff on the outside. And when it's dark, we don't see that. It works properly, but when it's still light out, it makes an incorrect dark center because it's doing the opposite. See, so we're going to just wait for this to just get a little bit darker. But in the meantime, we can go check some stuff out and go somewhere else. Sirius is, after all, the brightest star in the sky. It's pretty darn bright. It's also pretty close, about 8 light years away, just a little over.
So nice they named it twice.
That's right.
Sirius A and Sirius B.
That's correct. That's a good way to put it. Sirius B, of course, is a little tiny star that's next to Sirius A. Sirius A is called the primary, and Sirius B is the secondary component.
The white dwarf.
Yeah. Which means, okay, for those of you who understand stellar evolution, a white dwarf is the end state of a previously larger star. And that means, yes, Greg, we might check out the Orion Nebula. That's correct. We'll do that. That's a request. We got to do it. So what it means is that Sirius was next to another star of some type. And because it was a white dwarf, we know that that star has a certain upper limit on its mass. We know that it's a star that was less than a solar mass, maybe just a little under 2 solar masses possibly. And that means that we're going to get a white dwarf out of that. If it was a much bigger star, then we would have got a supernova with a neutron star at the middle. The neutron star is a heavier version and a more massive version. And what's interesting about white dwarfs is that although we can't see the white dwarf here, what's interesting about the white dwarf, and I'm sure Darrell can add to this too because he knows about them, is that white dwarfs have a really interesting way of holding themselves together. It's called electron degeneracy pressure. And so imagine a checkerboard, all right? And imagine in each of the squares of a checkerboard, you can only put one particle. And you can't move an electron into that same checkerboard space where it was already an electron. Now imagine all the checkerboard spaces are filled with electrons. You can't put any more in. And they have a pressure that they give off. They actually have a pressure they respond with if you try to crush them. And that pressure will hold that checkerboard in place, will hold all those electrons in the checkerboard. You can't crush them any more than that, unless you have more mass. And if more mass was to come into the system, then it means that that pressure that the electrons push out with can be overwhelmed and squished down further. Then you have a new degeneracy pressure called neutron degeneracy, and that is what we see with huge stars that are much bigger than the sun, but smaller than about bigger than the sun, but the upper limit is about lower limit, sorry, is about 2.4 solar masses. Above that, you'll get a neutron star for sure. And those, same thing. The checkerboard squares are not filled with electrons, but they're filled with neutrons. Okay, and again, they can't be crushed any further, so that they're just that's filled to capacity. Every possible location is filled, and they can't be crushed any further unless you add more mass. And if the star was even bigger still, then over 2.5 solar masses to 3 solar masses or more, then neutron degeneracy pressure gets overwhelmed and the star collapses into a black hole. So all that wordiness just to show you the different states. The white dwarf is here next to Sirius. The neutron star would be something like in the middle of the Crab Nebula that we've seen before. And the black hole is like something that's in the center of Messier 87, the Virgo galaxy. Darrell, you want to add anything? I'm sorry for going on there for a bit.
Sure. The white dwarf, Sirius B, it should be easy enough to see its separation from the primary star, but it's not because Sirius A is so bright that it's like 10,000 times as bright as the secondary star.
Yes. And
it's usually lost in the glare of Sirius A. Other things, there's a tribe in Africa, I forget, the Dogon. That they supposedly, their tribal cosmology knew that Sirius has a white dwarf companion. And that's never been explained, but along the same line, looking back thousands of years, some cultures called Sirius ruddy, as in it was reddish colored.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sirius is a bright white star.
Yeah.
And some have speculated that what with the Dogon, and if the ancients really saw Sirius as ruddy or red, that the white dwarf may have done its thing within human history. But at the time scales that such things generally happen, that's not considered possible.
Yeah, that we know of.
Yes, that we know of.
Yeah, that's true.
The white dwarf has been a white dwarf long before humanity. But
yeah.
there's something to scratch your head about.
I actually suspect that stars that become white dwarfs can actually become white dwarfs in just a few thousand years from the red dwarf phase, if there's something else that intervenes. And we're just seeing the finished history here with Sirius. We don't see the goings on, all the things that happened before this. By the way, the brightening that's changing there, that's because there's clouds going over Sirius right now. There's one bank of clouds, right? And that's all we have to worry about. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is trying to make sure that the clouds that we see are not going to interfere with us.
I guess the thought is if Sirius B had turned into a white dwarf so recently that humanity might have had some notion of it, that there would still be some nebulosity hanging around. I guess it would have gone through like a planetary nebula phase or such, but we don't see anything like that around Sirius.
Correct. Yeah, and I think that's the reason for that is probably because there's some like I said, circumstances that occurred that made a lot of that gas go away. Maybe Sirius was hot enough to push away a lot of that gas. Maybe there's gas there. I don't know of any studies around Sirius that show whether there's gas hanging around there, or not, that hasn't been ionized. But it's possible. It's possible. Just to show you where we're looking right now, I'm gonna let's go and just like let's go over to our left screen here. So here is the observatory right there, and you can see these high altitude clouds coming down. And this is what we're seeing right now going over us. And if you look back here, you'll notice that there's not a whole lot here. So as it gets darker, we have this one patch that's going to come down and wreak havoc with us for a bit, and then we should be okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're seeing right now. All right, so back.
I've been watching the weather, and springtime in the Rockies, we had a storm come through yesterday, cold and gray, and snowed some places here, but not right here in town. And we still got the backwash of that going on here today. It was cloudy and still cold and windy, but at least the snow is gone.
Yeah, same here.
It's supposed to start getting nice tomorrow, though. It's going to be in the 70s by the weekend.
And that's coming this way.
Yep.
So a lot's happened in the last couple days here. Just in the last couple days, I've been asked to speak at the Ozark Mountain UFO conference at the beginning of this month coming up, and then I'm going to be speaking at Roswell, New Mexico, at the Roswell conference. That's in June 30th to July 2nd. And then I'm going to be speaking at the MUFON Symposium. I'm going to be teaching at the MUFON Symposium, but then they asked me also to speak that Sunday. So I'll be speaking as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's good. And we're filming The Proof Is Out There here on April 4th. I should put that up on my board. I forgot to do that here. 1 second. That's at least... They haven't told me that officially, but since my son and his production company are doing the filming, they told me. Okay? The production company hasn't... or the network hasn't told me yet. So that's kind of... I found out through my son. And that's for the A&E Proof Is Out There show.
Cool.
Yeah, then they're going to come back in July to film the second half. So, see the clouds now? You can see the clouds are going. That's why Sirius looks so muddy right now. But that's okay. We can actually, while we're waiting, we can actually just go in here and check out our all-sky cam. All right, which we'll do. All right, here's the all-sky, and we'll bring this up. Check out the settings. Find out what I've got for the settings in the application. Well, what's my exposure that I'm going to be using here? Hey there, Legless Lex. How you doing? 14,000. That's good. All right, and we're going to go back to the preview. And 14,000 is 14,000 milliseconds, which is 14 seconds. And Marianne Robb is here.
Hi, Marianne.
Hey, Roni Hassan, Jessica S. Roni, I think you said hi to me earlier, and I totally didn't respond. I am sorry. Good to see you. I owe Roni something. You know, Cindy Murphy, hi there. How are you? Okay, let's do this 15-second shot, and we'll see what we're going to get here for clouds. Yeah.
Where are you going in the Ozarks?
I'm going to be going into Fayetteville and then going to Eureka Springs.
Oh, Arkansas Ozarks.
Yes.
I was born and raised in the Missouri Ozarks.
You were?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I couldn't go outside there without getting a tick on me.
Yeah. Okay, these clouds here are to the east. And just for the record, these are going from northwest to southeast. So those are going away from us. So nothing to worry about here. This is bird poop on my all-sky camera lens. It's a big spherical cover. It takes on some interesting shapes, like dark nebula.
That's what they want you to think.
I know. Let's do another acquisition here. You can see Sirius over here. Okay, we're doing another acquisition here, and there's Orion, there's Sirius. And let's watch the clouds move. Ready? Here we go, watch. Yeah, see, they're going that way. So we're going to be clear here in just a short time. That's Sirius, though, so you can see that we still have this little band to come through. But we're good. We're good. So away we go. Ta-da. All right. So now, but I did promise, though, I know Greg O'Brien asked if we could go look at Orion, and we're going to do O'Brien's Orion right now. Okay? And it's a good time to do it because it's kind of low, getting lower on the horizon. So if you watch the telescope up there, you're going to watch the telescope's going to go that way quite a bit toward the west. Right? So right now we're on Sirius, and we're going to be over here a little bit more. We're going to take ourselves to the Great Orion Nebula, and away we go. You watch the telescope and watch the stars here. Zing, they're going to go. Wahoo. And we're going to grab a star that's going to be kind of like a waypoint for us. All right. And it says right here it's doing high precision slewing. It's going to put a particular star into the view, and it's going to center Cursor. Now, I know for a fact that the star Cursor is not correct in the database. So when it goes to Orion, it's going to go to the left lower side of Orion. It's going to not get it right because in the database, Cursor is entered wrong. It became a program star, and they entered its coordinates wrong. So it sends the telescope to the wrong place. Okay, there's the Orion Nebula. And it's proving me wrong. But you've seen this before.
Yeah, I know. Whoever was loading that database should have put the bong down when they were doing data entry, I suspect.
You think?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go look, though, and see. I thought it was going to do it wrong. Oh, look at that. It actually did it right. It put the database data. It put it correct. So, okay. I'm not always right. Not always right. But hey, this is beautiful. And there's some light clouds. You can see some clouds crossing. It sort of looks faint, but it's there. And we're going to head a little bit to the east to center it up. And we have the Running Man Nebula right here. We have the Orion Nebula right here. And this is actually kind of a nice spot to do a longer exposure. So let's just try a 45-second shot here. Okay, now before we go, I have to give ourselves 11 to 14 seconds for the telescope, which has an additional telescope on top of it to capture a guide star. Okay, right now it should have a guide star, and if you look, you can see the telescope's leaning over toward the west. All right, so we're going to do a 45-second shot right now, and then we'll stack it and see what we get. The night seems to be a lot calmer than it was the other night when I tried. I was going to see about opening, but the stars were going all over the place. We had winds of like 12 to 14 knots, and that's the limitation. We get winds of 12 knots, 15 knots, we shut down because we can't get a stellar image that looks sharp, you know.
Yeah, I was looking at windy.com last night. I think he had like 40-mile-an-hour winds down there or something.
Yeah, and that's just way too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, this was the last stack we did. We're going to clear this. And now, I'm also going to make this something that goes away as well. So when I come off it, it'll go away. And this will go away when I come off it. I think I did the wrong one. Do that again. Okay. Alright. And so now, we get our image right here. And if you look at the progress bar way over here, you can see that we're 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second. Let's see what we got. Okay, looks nice. Now we just have to do some processing. Bam. Okay, and just do some color correction. Pow. All right, and now look at that. Look what we got. It's just a beautiful image. And why don't we let's pull that all in. Come here, you. All right, and now let's increase this brightness. Not brightness. Let's increase the size. Let's go to say 50%. The size of this entire chip. There we go. There's the Orion Nebula.
Barney. Yeah.
Really nice.
Right there in the middle, there's Barney from The Simpsons. Got a satellite in the field too.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you see Barney? You never see Bill Murray.
I don't see Barney. I don't see Bill Murray. I don't see Barney the purple dinosaur. I don't see any of that.
Oh.
This is known as Measure 42, the Great Nebula in Orion. It's a blister on a dark nebula that's in the Orion region, and that dark nebula is called the OMCC, the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex. There, say that 3 times fast. And the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex is really just a fascinating location, and it's a really nice still night, because look at this. We're getting, for 45 seconds, we're getting some beautiful shots here.
Yeah, CM43 too.
Yes, right here, you mean?
Yep.
Yep. Measure 43 is gorgeous. And actually, we're not doing, just so you understand, if you look at the gain that I'm using right now, the gain, where's my camera control? Where'd it go? Did I not get the camera? Did I lose the camera? No, I got the camera.
You blanked it all out, remember?
Well, I didn't. I actually should have it. I don't know why. Oh, wait, I know what I did. I did this. Yeah, you were correct. I actually rolled it up. But if you look at our gain is at 0. Okay? 0. So we're going to take the gain up now. That's like increasing the sensitivity of the sensor. This is what 0 does. Look how beautiful 0 is. Okay? The higher the gain goes, the more the noise. So let's take let's take our gain to about 200. Okay? And at 200, the next shot will come in at a combination of the two sensitivities. All right, yeah, and then now when we bring in the next shot, it's going to come in at 200. Doing a shot like this allows us to see some nice, subtle, solid detail. And then we increase the sensitivity in the middle of the shot, and we get plastered with all this new detail that sits over the old good detail. And it really ends up making a beautiful image, as you can see. So now what we'll do is I'll back out a little bit. I'm going to do the right thing here. I'm not going to roll it up. I'm going to actually just make it so that it goes away. So when I do this, oh, I did it again, didn't I? It's the wrong thing. I don't want to do that.
Stop doing that.
I know, I did, huh?
That's kind of trippy right there.
It is very trippy.
Wow.
Let's see if I come in here.
I bet you couldn't do that again if you tried.
Oh, I'm sure I could. Because I have to figure out how I did that in the first place.
Oh, that looks pretty neat.
Yeah, although it's not correct. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's not correct, of course. But what we'll do is I will go in here. I'll clear that and do it again. Stack's been reset, and now it's going to read out. We'll get one good one here again at 200. There we go. Now, if we back out, what you'll see is, and of course I haven't done any kind of processing yet, but you can see the Running Man up there. You can see the Orion Nebula. And if we do some processing now on this, okay, watch what we see. Okay, we're going to play with this a little bit. Okay, now we're going to take this and move this over. This is the white level, the mid level, I should say. This is going to help bring back some of the detail. And this one on the left, this vertical dash here, these dashed yellow lines, these represent where we're picking off data on the sensor. And this one is our dark level. If I move it to the right, you'll see it's just going to get darker and darker and darker. Okay, so only the brightest stuff survives when you bring it all the way down. Okay, but if we bring it back, then we end up seeing the dark level, and we want to get it to just to the left of the peak, so we get what looks like this right here. This will show us additional detail down in here, and that's kind of what we want, and still see all this. This is just beautiful. I want to thank Greg for suggesting this. This is nice. And Dudu Mavig, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it looked like a tie-dye shirt, Dudu. It sure did. Alright, and this is 45 seconds at 200. We normally take images at 350, by the way. And this is for Izabela. This is the ballerina with the pink helmet nebula. I like that. Very cool. Let me come in here and let me do some color processing just a little bit. Kind of get that. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Isn't this beautiful, guys? This is the most beautiful nebula in the sky, arguably. Maybe the Eta Carina Nebula is prettier, but that's down south. We can't see that. But for us, this is a beautiful nebula. You know? All right, so that is what we see here, and this is actually, we're not even showing the full frame right now. If I want to show you the full frame, we go to Auto. Okay, that's the full frame. And let's pop out of this guy and get my telescope back and get the controls back, because now I want to try something else. I am going to save this, okay, and we're going to pause this. This is only 4 stacked images at 45 seconds. I'll wait for 5. I'll wait for 5. You can see the progress bar almost filling up over there. And here we go. So there's the 5th image. Boom. So now we'll pause this and we're going to save it. And when we pause it and save it, what that does is you'll see a green bar come across the top, and that's the file being saved in raw format. And that's for you to process yourselves if you want to. But if you don't want to do that and you just want the pretty picture, well, we offer you that too. And that is in this one where you say save exactly as seen. Okay, So now you'll see that changes to a PNG file. This you can just double click on and see what you see right here on the screen. Okay, and I like doing that for you as well. Now, what this is, okay, obviously, this again is the Great Nebula in Orion. It's an emission nebula and a reflection nebula. The reflection nebula, like we see here, this is the Running Man part of it right here. This is the emission, the reddish area. This bluish green, this is the emission from oxygen atoms, okay? But there are parts of it that are just reflecting starlight by scattering the starlight. This is that part here. The blue is scattered starlight from the stars inside here. And this red is buried, it's actually buried inside. It's buried inside the reflection nebula. And that's this kind of red emission. So why does it look magenta? Because when you add, in light terms, when you add blue light with red light, you get kind of a magenta color. So that's why it looks magenta, because it's actually emanating from inside the nebula. If you could peel away the dust that's refracting, and I'm sorry, dust that's actually scattering the light from these stars, you'd see a red nebula in here, just like here. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Pretty cool. And that's a little astronomy for you. And thank you so much, Izabela and Darrell, for putting up the server location. As you might have guessed, every one of our images are free for you to use, and they're free for you to do what you like with. You know. Now, being an astronomer, I've spent a number of years learning about all the processes that go on inside these nebulae and so forth. But we're not going to trouble you with those unless you ask. But the thing that's interesting about these nebulae is that they exist at all, and that these nebulae show that there's gas in interstellar space where you might have thought there's none. Just like when you look here, you don't think you see anything, you don't think there's something here, but if you look here, okay, like here, you don't think there's anything, but this is all full of gas. I'm sorry, gas and dust. Here's the dust. It looks brown, see? Trails over here and over there. This is all part of the Orion molecular cloud that Darrell's mentioned before, that I'm mentioning now. Butterfly Bug Nebula, NGC 6302. I think we looked at that before, Genghis. But I'm going to try something right now. We're actually going to clear the stack. Okay, and I'm going to do one more exposure here just to show you. And we're going to do 120 seconds. That's 2 minutes. Okay, and we're going to get a photo, and we're going to clear this guy, right? But just so you can see when it gets close, we'll cut it. We'll get rid of it. Look at all the detail we can see in here. Isn't this beautiful? Jeez, that's cool, huh, Darrell?
Sure. It's my favorite thing in the whole sky.
Yeah. Zoom in here. Okay, the declination, I can probably correct that just a bit more to get perfect stars. I added a correction before. So I can do that while we're waiting here. Let me just, oh, I can't actually, because I gotta move the telescope in order to get my screen. That's okay. Dudu Mavic, thank you. And Taryn Marie is here. Hello. Yeah, isn't it beautiful, Greg? See, you asked for the Orion Nebula, and you got the Orion Nebula, man. Whatever you like.
NGC 6302 is in Scorpius. We can't see it right now.
Okay. There is the albino butterfly, but that's down in Canis Major, I think. But that one's really kind of small and unimpressive at first, you know. Yeah.
Speaking of Monoceros, you know what I would like to see tonight, to try anyway?
Yes.
That one I sent you recently.
Dolphin head?
No, not that. That other ray pod I sent you last week.
Oh, the filament.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should try that. Genghis asks, in your observations, what's been the most colorful nebula to you? Ah, that's really cool. You know what? This is beautiful. but you haven't lived until you've seen the Cone Nebula with the Christmas tree cluster, because those colors and that. Oh, look at that! We got a flasher. Those nebulas. Okay, that could be a meteor actually. Maybe it looks like it's.
So you're doing a 2-minute exposure.
Oh wait,
it will have moved on quite a bit if it is a rocket body or something.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, I'm sorry, I'll get back to you here in a minute, Genghis. But this would have been a momentary thing to be seen on the frame, so this may not have taken 2 minutes to go across like here.
Oh, I know.
Well, look at how beautiful this looks. Now, what I want to do is I want to pull out a little bit. I think I've got a little bit more to show. Okay, and now what we can do is I can bring the black level in just a bit, and then we'll actually be able to show some contrast between space and the dust. A little bit more. Maybe that. Oh yeah. Now if you look at all the dust in here. See all that? There's so much dust out here. I think this is a meteor right here. Let me actually, you know what? Before I shoot my mouth off, let's go get a close-up look at it, okay?
Yeah, what I was saying, if I don't know, that's sort of meteor-like looking.
It is. It has that burst right there.
Yeah, I was thinking if it had been a tumbler, we might see it progressing across the screen, except for 2-minute exposures. It'll probably be gone by the next time anyway.
Well, that's the thing. If it's actually, here, well, if we see it over here, okay, then we know that it's actually a satellite.
Yeah.
So let's look for it now. Okay. Okay. We don't see it. So we actually caught a meteorite, guys. That's cool.
Yeah. When you zoom in on that, it is kind of rough around the edges, like
yeah.
Got a satellite below it.
Yeah, I see that right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's when we see meteorites, guys. What happens is, they come into the Earth's atmosphere, and as they go deeper into the atmosphere, they heat up tremendously, and they get to a point where they can no longer withstand the pressures of the atmosphere and this mega heating that's going on. So they do break apart, they blow up, and when they do, they cause a bright flash, and then they trail off in brightness, and that's just what it looks like right there. So we actually caught a really cool meteor tonight on that. So I'm not going to I'm going to just do one. We'll stack 4 images. Notice we did 2 minutes and we got nice round stars. That's because I tuned the guider to do a better job, so we can do longer exposures now. Hey, Fractal Frog, what's up? It was flying, Fractal Frog. I think it's definitely a meteor, though. That's kind of cool to catch one in the Orion Nebula. Izabela made a wish. Oh, good. That is just awesome. I'm glad you made a wish, Izabela. She made a wish, and I'm sure that works.
Genghis, to answer your question...
I know I didn't do that, did I?
Well, by eye, at any rate, to me, Orion's number 1, Lagoon Nebula and Sagittarius would probably be number 2.
And see, I think that the Christmas tree cluster and the cone are beautiful, which we can actually see. And you know what? That's because of the variations in color that we see. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's pause this now, because we have 4 stacked, and we're gonna save this. I will put in the name up here. I didn't do that before, but it's okay. And I'll put meteor so people know that a meteor occurred here. All right, and now we will save this, and now there'll be a directory by that very name with this raw file and with this exactly as seen image. Very cool. All right, that's done. So now if we clear this, let's now get rid of the stack. Oops, that's the problem. I'm going to do this now. Alright. Alright, now we come back here. Okay. And now let's get rid of this. And this really should be the one right there. That shouldn't. Yes, it should be doing that. I don't get why it does that. Alright, not sure. I could float this. You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'll just do it. I'll work this out later. Alright. So now what we're gonna do. Huh?
What's up?
Oh, I was just trying to figure out a way to get this to slide in again, because I liked when it would, you know, be sliding out, but that was this tab right here, but it's not doing it.
Wow.
I moved the telescope, that's why it looks that way. Alright, and I gotta change this from 120 seconds back down to 1 second. And then we'll give us a little bit of brightness here. There we go. So there's a live 1 second view in full color of the Orion Nebula. Now let's go someplace else. I'm gonna take us to a favorite place of ours. Ah, yes. Let's get off of this. There we go. Keep going. Here we go. We're going to go to the Christmas tree cluster because I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We might as well. Okay, now we're going to head to another star, and you'll see right here it's going to tell us which star it's going to go to. Alright, and use as a waypoint. We're at 41% on our zoom right now, so let me go out to auto, and so we're going to do Alzir. We're going to center Alzir, which is this star that you see right there. And centering Alzir takes us to this position where we can then jump off and head over to the most amazing Christmas tree cluster, the Cone Nebula, and Hubble's Variable Nebula, which will be fun to look at because Hubble's Variable Nebula changes over time.
Filaments in Monoceros too.
Yeah, we're going to go there. Yeah. Here's the Christmas tree cluster. And the other thing we want to see is down here. And I'm going to move us up now. Alright. And I'm going to move us up until we see Hubble's Variable Nebula. And then we're going to stop and do a nice deep exposure here because there it is. Because you're going to see the most beautiful nebulous detail. You want to see pretty? You want to see beautiful? Keep your eyes on this. Okay, first of all, this is Hubble's Variable Nebula. This little guy changes depending on the light being thrown on it by a star that's inside of a nebula here that you cannot see. And it has dark dust going around it. And as it does, that dark dust will cause different amounts of light to hit this nebula, so it varies in brightness over the course of a few days to weeks, and we see it do so. Okay, now I'm going to move us a little bit over to the east a little bit, right here, right, a little bit more like this. So we're going to approximately center all this stuff. There we go. Okay, and away with you. And now what we do is we're going to just do this, just enough to be able to see some more details of the Fox Fur Nebula, which is up here. Right? A little more. Oh, you're talking about meteorites.
Yeah, Genghis asked.
Yep.
Didn't you say that you have a Campos Yellow from Argentina?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to do a 65-second shot, only because I'm impatient and I want to see this, of this region. This is a cluster of stars. It has a reflection nebula around it. This is a nebula down here that's both a dark nebula and an emission nebula, and this whole region around here is just incredibly dense and glowing. So let's go see. And of course that will make sense for how this nebula is sitting here. It's not just isolated out in space. It's part of a huge dark cloud complex that's here. But let's go look, shall we? All right, 65 seconds and away we go. And by the way, we're only at 200 sensitivity. I should change that. I'm going to change that to 300. All right, at least. So go up 100, and I will restart the exposure. It won't make a difference, but I want to do that anyway, just to make sure. All right. Okay. And then we can stack. All right. So now we're stacking. I auto-focused earlier, by the way. We have a routine now that actually handles focusing the telescope in a very, very highly precise manner. We used a process called multi-star full width half maximum. Basically, you'll see many, many stars that are selected. As the night goes on, we'll actually make some changes. Oh, look at this. That's just beautiful. Wow.
I see the cone. I see the variable nebula.
This is the cone. This is Hubble's variable nebula. And it's looking different tonight. Look at that. Hubble's variable nebula has a different look to it. And here's that beautiful bluish reflection nebula. And then this beautiful look up here. Look at all this nebula that's glowing over here. And why don't we let's see if we can process this and show a little bit more detail. Let's see what it wants to do. Oh, it's going to make it pretty dark, but look at that. Look at that. That is really pretty. I'm going to take this back just a notch. There we go.
Izabela, I stand corrected. I just had to look it up because I forgot. Green meteors, the green often comes from nickel, like in a nickel iron meteor.
Yellow comes from iron, and when sodium is fluorescing and being luminescent, it looks yellow as well. But iron will burn. Iron meteorites burn yellow when you see them coming in. Look at this gorgeous location. Now this is beauty. This is beautiful. You know? Really, really beautiful. All right, this is going to be the Christmas tree cluster, which I think I have that as a selection. Christmas tree, cone, and Hubble's variable. Yep. Here we go. All right. If you look
Mark's
at the
comments about... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said if you look where the telescope is pointing, it's pointing kind of almost up, straight up, so we should have some good views. What'd you say?
Well, just what you said about sodium.
Oh, yeah.
When you see a yellow like that in a meteor or whatever, it's just like when you took a chemistry class in school, when you held different elements in a Bunsen burner, and you noted their particular colors. That's the very same color that sodium puts off, like if you put salt in a Bunsen burner flame.
Right.
It's that sodium yellow color.
Yep. And it's
and
beautiful.
If you see the big guiding lasers on the stars down at the European Southern Observatory. They have a very characteristic yellow color, and those are sodium lasers. And it's that exact same color again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I want auto hide. I want that. I want auto hide on. So I said auto hide, and it goes away. And then when it comes back, there's nothing there. But I hit auto hide. So why is it doing that?
You need to stir your cursor around in the blank space.
No. I was doing that earlier. Look at this, guys. Look at how beautiful this is. Now, we've stacked 4 images. And for those of you who... First of all, let me just... For those who are here, I see some new faces here. Obviously, this is me. This is the telescope control. This is actually the telescope in the building, 2,500 miles from here. This is the telescope control system. This is obviously the main view of what this telescope is seeing. This is the camera control section over here, right? And we can do focusing. We can do some special processing. We can do exposure, the most important one here, the exposure setting. Right now it's at 65s or seconds. And then we have our gain at 300. That's like the sensitivity on like a camera, all right? So it's just not exactly the same, but it's actually it's that. So I think that that's worked very well. Thank you, Greg. Greg says he tweeted the heck out of this. Thank you so much.
Mark,
yeah, we need people. Yeah, go ahead.
Fractal asks, because I always get it wrong, the variable nebula down at the bottom right, is that Hubble's variable nebula or Heinz variable nebula?
That's Hubble's. We do have Heinz variable nebula as well, but it's not quite here. It's actually a little further up. So okay. you're not too far off actually. But let's zoom into Hubble's variable nebula so you can actually see what this looks like. Okay, look at this dark nebula over here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, well here's Hubble's variable nebula. Look at this beautiful detail in here. You know, and our our telescope can handle zooming in quite a distance, but you see some noise here. That noise we can process away. The more images that we stack, and right now we stack 6, the more that noise goes away. So this is that nebula. You can't see the star that's causing this to be lit up. There is a star at the bottom here, but it's not the star causing the nebula to be lit up. This is just a field star. The star that's causing it to be lit up is inside this dark cloud over here that you can't see. And it's reaching out with its light as that dark material goes around it, and it's like a projector projecting a different amount of light and shape onto the nebula. Right now, Darrell, this looks different from what we saw. We didn't have this high little spoke the last time we looked at it. It wasn't that high.
That's very true. The nebula, it's pretty unique. I mean, nebulas tend to be pretty big, so we don't see short-term changes usually. But with the interchange of light and shadow being cast inside that nebula, we see that change on very short time scales, just in a matter of days.
That's right.
We've tracked that in the past.
And we have. We've actually looked at this and watched it happen.
Yeah.
I just I popped up the processing here just to kind of accentuate these dark areas a little bit more so you can see them. And then I'm going to take us over to this area here. This is a magical place. This is called the Cone Nebula. I'll give you one guess as to why. You know why. The cone actually looks, of course, like a cone. And if we zoom in, you'll see that there's 2 little stars right here, another star on the top, and you see one hump and then another hump. Okay? And then more semi-humps in this. Now, there's hot stars up here, and what they're doing is their stellar winds are pushing dust away, right? And that dust is then being raked behind a dense area of dust that is sticking around and shielding what's behind it in all likelihood. So we're actually seeing what like the wind does to sand, right? I mean, it shapes the thing, and if there's a rock in the way, then the wind goes around the rock and continues on the other side. But with light and the radiation of light, we don't have that wraparound thing, so it just goes straight. And so we see it right here. Really kind of cool. And like I said, the noise will vanish. If I actually drop this down more, it'll go away as well. And it kind of shows you a little bit more what we're looking at. Beautiful, though. This is just beautiful. Our images never looked as good as this, in the beginning. And I had to go out there and fix the telescope one more time. And if we go up to the top here, all right, this is now where we are with the Christmas tree cluster. And then you see this nebula right here, along with this over here. And I'm not sure how much of this is what's called the Phosphor Nebula. Darrell's... Were you just saying that?
Yeah, and I'm about to take back everything I just said. I have looked at different images to see what exactly they're calling the phosphor. As I said a moment ago in chat, I've seen it said that little bit of nebulosity just to the upper left of the tip of the cone is the phosphor. But
here.
Then, yes, that. But then what you just pointed out to the upper left of the Christmas tree, upper right,
yeah,
that right there has sort of a foxy fur-like quality to it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Hey, so, Dagger. Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, no. I mean, but keep in mind that you should probably look it up and see if neither of us are doing it right. I mean, when it comes to names, okay, I can get names wrong. Everybody can. But I thought that this was the phosphor, just like Darrell thought the other thing was. Cindy Murphy says, I've loved the sky since childhood and glad to have found you all. Yeah, Cindy, welcome. Welcome to the family. I'm glad that you're here with us. We have a good time. We look at beautiful things in the sky and just can't get enough of it. I'm going to do a little processing now. It's going to make it a little darker and accentuate this stuff here. Look at that. Wow. So now we'll come out and let's actually now maximize. Wow.
Yeah, the first image I see says that the cloud to the upper left of the Christmas tree is the phosphor.
Upper left or upper right?
Upper right. I'm sorry. To the right of the bright star.
Because it can be flopped. Images can be flopped. Yeah, I think this is the phosphor. Okay, cool. All right. So if I do that, and doc is a tabbed document. I don't want to do that. I want to auto hide though. Let's try that. All right, did that work? Oh, that's okay. I just don't want to take away the view from you guys, Look at this. Jeez. You can't, I'm speechless. This is beautiful. This goes back to what we talked about before, okay? When we talked about the fact that this was something that was colorful, now you see why. You see reds and browns, and you see beautiful blues. It's just amazing. All right. And this is all true right here. Wham. It's the Christmas tree cluster and the Cone Nebula, which is an emission nebula and reflection nebula. So if we come in here now and just cut this out just a little bit. Okay, go away, thumbs up, they know. Alright. Wow, that's pretty.
It is.
And we've stacked 12 so far. And these are going to be clearly. I gotta just keep doing this. I don't know why it's doing this to me. 65-second shots. Not bad. Not bad. We'll do this last one here. This will be 13. 13 was my lucky number. I've actually had a house that was 13, and a lot of good stuff happened there. Pause. And now we'll save this. Okay. This will be fun to process. I'm talking to Izabela now because she likes to process these. And then I'm going to save the image exactly as seen. And then I'm going to do something. I'm going to pull this back just a bit and brighten it up a little bit. All right. And then push more detail. And then I'll save that too. So what I'm doing is called pushing. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna move this over now. Okay. All right, and we'll save that as well. So now we'll save this image exactly as seen. Okay. All right. All right, let's just take a moment to look at this whole image one more time. Look at Hubble's variable. This is just beautiful. Let me get rid of this. You know what this is now.
Yeah, right. That extended tail on the left side is really something.
It is. We've never seen that before.
Not like that.
Real. Heidi Gadd saying, Mark, can you explain what a nebula is for people learning just joining? Yeah, sure. A nebula means cloud, and so when we look at space is full of stuff. Sometimes that clouds of dust, like here, in this area here, where it's black and dust. Sometimes like this dust, where it's actually dust that's illuminated by a nearby star, or dust mixed with gas, like hydrogen gas and oxygen atoms and other elements in our periodic table. And when hit by high-powered starlight, sometimes that makes the gas glow. The Orion Nebula glows red because hydrogen gas is being caused to glow by hot stars. And it also glows a greenish blue because of oxygen atoms that are doing the same thing. Sometimes nebulae glow blue, and that's because they're dust that are scattering starlight. And only the blue light in the starlight coming to them gets scattered, and so the light that you see is blue because that's the component of the star's spectrum of colors of light that are being reflected. When a star's light is white, it's actually composed of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Okay? Red through blue, right? That's all combined to make white light. In the light world, all those colors together make white. But if you take out that blue light and you send it in all directions, well, then you see a blue light. This is glowing blue for the same reason that our sky glows blue. All right? The oxygen and nitrogen atoms in our atmosphere just happen to be scattering the blue light from the sun. That's why when the sun's on the horizon, you're looking through more light. You're looking through more atmosphere. So more atoms scatter more of that blue light, making the sun look what color? Red. Because that's the end of the spectrum that's unaffected, right? So that's why when volcanoes erupt, we get volcanic sunsets that are just scarlet red. It's because more of that light is being scattered by the dust particles and by the oxygen and nitrogen atoms in our atmosphere. See? So in space, the same thing is true. We get scattering by dust. There's dust everywhere in this image. This is dark dust that's dark because there's nothing to scatter the light there. All right, there's no stars in there that can scatter the light. Here, there's a young hot cluster, and it's actually causing the hydrogen gas to glow. And it's also causing the starlight. The dust is actually causing the starlight to be scattered, so you get a mix of the blue and a mix of the red. So that's how nebulae work. You get emission nebulae like the red, and you get reflection nebulae like the blue. and you get dark nebulae, that which is not either illuminated by a star or caused to glow because it's dust particles and there's not enough gas to actually glow. So gas glows, dark nebulae just scatter. That's how it works. Long and drawn out, but still very effective, I hope, in explaining the difference in the nebula. Thank you, Heidi Gad, for that question. Shaiben, how are you? Shaiben BS is here. Nice to see you.
Mark, excuse me a moment, please.
Sure thing. Okay, so what we're going to do now, since I already paused this already. I already stacked. I did save this, right? Did I save this? Oh, I hope that I saved this. I think I did. You know what? Doesn't hurt to do it again, does it? I'll do it again. Okay. We have people from all over the place. We have people in New York City. We have people from California. We have people from Hudson Valley. Cindy Murphy, did you see the show I did on Discovery Plus called Alien Invasion Hudson Valley? Ben Hansen and I and Melissa Tittle were cast members in that show, and we went all over Hudson Valley investigating UFO sightings, and we brought scientific equipment and we were trying to figure it out. And actually, it was a very good show. We had a good time with it anyway, and it was really cool. But that's on Discovery Plus. And Dudu is in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Hey, welcome. I saw you before, but I'm glad that you told us where you're from. Because Vera Lucia Campos is also from Brasilia. And is with us. I don't think she's with us tonight. I don't think I saw her tonight. But she's out there. Okay. Now that we did this, we're going to clear this stack. Because we've saved it. Yeah. Oh, it's almost like I hate clearing them, but I know that it's okay. Because they're saved. Yeah, okay. And now what I do is I go back to the 1 second exposure. And that 1 second exposure gives us a view of what it looks like. This is my enhanced view that I use. In 1 second exposure, you can see the nebula and see all those things. And now while we're here, we'll wait for Darrell to get back, but now while we're here, we'll do one more object before we do the one he would like to see. And we're going to look at the Rosette Nebula. If you guys don't remember this, this is perhaps the most beautiful rose-shaped object in the sky. We'll do a few on the Rosette Nebula, Darrell, then we'll do yours.
Okay.
It's in Monteceros, right?
Yep.
Okay. So first things first, I'm going to get rid of this screen here and give me back my telescope view. All right. So the telescope is heading up into the sky. I'm not sure what star it's using. Maybe that's Alzir. Let's go find out. All right. And by the way, we also use this interactive planetarium that allows us, it's Alzir, and this interactive planetarium basically allows us to control the telescope as well. And then here, even in our 1 second shot, you can see the Rosette Nebula. Look at that. You even see the dark lanes of dark nebula in here. This nebula is just stupendous. It's stupendous. I'm going to move us over and I'll center us up. All right, just for fun. There we go. And that's good enough. Okay. All right, now let's do a 65 second exposure here. All right, and over here on the side here, that's over here I'm talking about. This is the, right here, that is the progress bar. So this is a line going through our data that allows us to intercept the actual data coming from the sensor here, and with this we can actually determine some brightness and do some processing. The exposure right there, very important, 65 seconds, and the gain, again, that value right there, that's actually the value that we want to see as our sensitivity for our sensor. It's like a sensor on the camera. This is the telescope, that's the telescope control system. So there you go. See, I float all over the screen sometimes. All right, well, now we're going to stack, all right? And the image is being acquired on the actual sensor, and it has not been read off the sensor yet. So it will, when it does, the entire image comes here, and we'll see it all. So, here we go. 1 second left, and you got to see this. Watch this. Boom. Is that not beautiful? This is a live photo, guys. A live photo. I mean, how in the world, you know, I look online, I see people, you know, they say, oh, I did 15 minutes with the, 15 minutes on the Rosette, or I did 4 hours of exposures. I did 65 seconds. You know, I'm not saying I'm better. They're doing different things for sure. But this allows us to see the beautiful nebula as it is. And you see it in seconds, and that's what we're all about here at SkyTour Livestream. You know, you're seeing lots of stuff in just one sitting. And that's what we're all about. I love that. Let me do a color correction here. Yeah, it's a little more red. That's good. And so far we're good there. I'm gonna just increase the red a tiny bit. Oh, a satellite just went through. How dare you? Now, what's interesting is you'll say, oh, the satellite ruined the shot. But it didn't, because what's behind the satellite trail, which is white, is red of the nebula, dark of space. But over time, each exposure brings in more red of the nebula, more dark of space. And that satellite trail that's so obvious now will become almost invisible over the course of the next few exposures. It's an automatic satellite trail removal. Neato. Look at this. And while we're here, we might as well look at this region over here. So let's zoom in, shall we? I mean, we only stacked 2, but we're still supporting that. Look at that. See this dark nebula in here? This is beautiful. And if we drag it around, you can see this beautiful area here. And most importantly, I want you to notice these little guys right here. 1, 2, there's a tiny one here, and there's many, many more in this nebula. What are those? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and as I said, many more. These are called Bok globules, named for Bart J. Bok. Bart Bok was an astronomy professor, and actually he taught me for a period of time. And Bart Bok, he is the man who found these dark nebulae, these dark globs. And what are they? Well, they're kind of like nurseries for whole solar systems and whole new stars. They actually are condensing clouds of dust and gas that maybe in the middle are going to get so hot that they're going to, forge a new star to be born in there at some point. And so the Bok globules are exactly that. And the Bok globules are, of course, very important to the formation of systems now as we realize it. Okay.
Is it fair to say then that those little tiny Bok globules are as big or bigger than our entire solar system?
It is very fair to say that. They are. They're going to be the size of multiple solar systems. There's the tiniest ones in here are probably going to be way bigger than our solar system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed. And I tell you, it's beautiful. Now we've stacked 4 so far, And if you notice, the guiding is just right on the money. The telescope is auto-guiding. The focus seems good. And I haven't even done the thing I'm about to do now. This adds a whole nother layer of enhancement to it. I'm going to come into the enhancement tab here, and I'm going to turn on something called unsharp masking. Watch those dark areas. You ready? Okay, watch right here. Watch this dark area. All right? Because that's about to change. Ready? Here we go. Look at that. Do you see that enhancement just occur? Now, these areas are far more defined, and the nebulae, the little circuitous little curvatures in this nebula are well defined. You know, bok choy, that's a good one. Yeah. So this adds another element of processing to our system. You know, when we do this, look at these now. These are very important to see too. At this lower left part, this is, well, let's start in the middle, okay? This is a young hot star cluster, okay? What has this done? This young hot star cluster formed in the middle of a nebula, and it has hot, very profuse stellar winds, and these push out material. They blow out material and create a cavity in the middle. And sure enough, when we look at this from a distance, right, we back out, okay, we see a cavity in here. And this cavity has been created by the young hot stars pushing out the dust and the gas. So that's why it looks like it's hollow in there, but it wasn't. These stars were born amid all that. But the hot stellar winds and the force of the stellar winds do things to the gas and dust long term. And when we zoom back in down here, you can see kind of what that does. All right, let's go down here. Darrell, we've talked about this, right? Right, Darrell, we've talked about this.
What, that below center there?
The stalks, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. See that stalk right there, guys? That stalk, which I'll zoom in on some more. That stalk is an area where there is a condensation right there. That's a condensing area that's dense. And then this right here is on the lee side, the other side of the stellar winds coming from that direction, okay? And so that stuff is hitting here, but it's so dense that the stellar winds go around this and don't allow this to get evaporated and blown away because something's going on in there. So it makes this stalk, which is safe for the time being, you know. And if we back out a little bit, you can see where it's angling, and its angle is toward those young hot stars. Now, we don't know whether it's directly on its side or kind of facing us or facing away from us. We don't know that detail, okay, but we do know that most likely it's facing one of these hot stars, maybe multiple hot stars.
Yeah. And basically those are the same thing as what's happening when we see the pillars of creation in Messier 16, correct?
Absolutely correct. We're seeing the same kind of thing. We're seeing that the condensing front end is more dense and so less susceptible to being blown away basically by the stellar winds. Now, stellar winds are not so powerful that they would like rip your car to shreds or something. What they are, though, is they're a subtle continuous force applied to everything around the star. All right, and it's light that's coming out, but it's radiation, and that radiation imparts a substantial force over time to objects and moves them away like dust and so forth. And so that's what we see here. You know, and that's exactly why this looks like it does.
Looks like lasagna.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, it does. It looks like something absolutely crazy. Look how beautiful this is. Now, we're also, I mentioned when it gets dark, we're also doing what's called a flat field. We're actually correcting for the way this the center gets brighter. So I actually created a flat field using this system, and I have it automatically subtracting it. So that's being subtracted for the raw footage as well. So the raw details no longer have to have a flat field done, which I wrote an algorithm to do that in Photoshop, but don't need it anymore. I'm doing it automatically on the fly, which is the better place for it. Look at that, huh? We're going to go to 10, and then we're going to stop. And then we're going to go to your object, Darrell, and I just need the NGC number, possibly, when you're ready. Thank you, Izabela.
That is so three-dimensional.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah. Looks like I've compared it to old Gustave Doré illustrations out of the Bible. You know, it's like you're looking into a cloud or down a hole or something.
Yeah, you are. And you know what? It's actually enhanced by coming in a little closer. You know. So now you can see that you're looking down the wall here, almost like a hurricane from the top, right? With the eye wall.
Yeah.
I think Genghis says Lasagna Nebula. That's funny, King. Funny. You're a funny guy, you're Genghis. Emotional damage. All right. Okay, so we got 10 here.
My object is it's not an NGC object. It's IC447 and IC446.
All right. I'm saving the Rosette raw stack.
Let me double check.
Okay, and I'm saving exactly a scene. So this is now heading up to the server. We have a free server, as Izabela's pointed out and shown you up there. You can see in the chat, wherever it is down there, you can actually see that she's got the link to the server. That's our free live server, 24/7. You can go up there and look at our images from all the way back to last July or so, and just sift through them, have fun, take them down, do whatever you want. I will say that the best images are from last November forward, because I had to recollimate the telescope, and once doing that, the images are just stupendous. Oh man, stupendous. Stupid good. Okay, so this is all saved. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to clear this and dump this stack. We don't need it anymore. And now we're going to come out and we're going to go to Darrell's object, which is known as an IC object.
Yes.
And so I'm going to grab, for DSOs, I'm going to add some more in here. I moved this telescope, that's why you see that on the screen, no big deal. Okay, we got Barnard objects and Sharpless objects as well, and Caldwell objects. Okay, now, let's go and look up yours. And it is, Isabel's funny, Mr. Server. Okay. All right. I see that nebula. I see what? Again. What is it, Darrell?
447 and 446.
Are they next to each other?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll do that. Let's see where it is.
That is pretty close.
I bet. Okay, I'm trying to get it to... Why is it not? It's working, but... Oh, maybe... 446 as well?
Yes.
Okay, let me see about that, because... Alright, is that going to do it better? Why is it not going? Let's go to Sinbad.
447 said it was found in Sinbad.
Okay. I don't know why it's not. Simbad lookup found. Okay, well, you should have found it. All right, query Simbad about selected object. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's gonna make me put in the object. Well, actually, let's find the coordinates. Okay. 631.55 and plus 456. You copy that?
No.
Okay. All right, just write down real quick. 631 and 55.
631.55
and 456.35.
456.35.
Hey, weird guy. How you doing? Okay, and now let's go find that object. We'll come over here. And what was the one? The first one is 06.
631.55.
Okay. And we're going to do a go-to with this. That's what we're going to do. Okay, and
456.35.
Okay. All right. Since it didn't work in here, we're going to just go and do a direct go-to on this. This should work. Let's hope. Here we go. And I shouldn't have done 65 seconds here. I should have done 1 second. There we go. It's going to be pretty close, I would think. All right, we're doing high precision slowing again. And what star are we going to use? Looks like Alzira again. Maybe? If it's using that star out there, it's about to be brought in. Yep, Alzir. Alzir is used as our waypoint star today. And Alzir is correct in the database, so I know we're going to go to this object. And we're going to go to 631.55. And if you look at what's called right ascension, these coordinates here, it sounds confusing, but it's the east-west direction, okay? Wait a minute. Is that the Rosette?
No.
Well, then that was the wrong coordinates. You gave us the wrong coordinates.
I wrote down what you told me to.
I wrote down what Simbad told us. Okay. Let's do this.
Maybe I thought you were still looking at... Well, I noted when you had your catalog page open, I did not see IC selected. I didn't see IC at all.
You didn't?
No.
All right. IC's right there.
Okay.
Okay. So, I am wondering why when I say for an object, if we say IC 446, right? I should do this.
I suspect 447 is brighter, if that would help.
I don't know if that's going to help. But we'll try it. I did 447 before.
Yeah, I know. Surprised it didn't go.
Yeah. Alright, let's go back to Simbad. Maybe it's trying to tell us... bear with us, folks. Real astronomy going on. Okay. Okay, this is where we are. Okay, so this is our coordinates right now, then. Maybe not. Tell you what, Darrell. Look up that object and get me the right ascension and declination.
Already have. Bear with me.
There we go. See, that's the Darrell we know.
Right ascension is 6 hours, 31 minutes, and 12 seconds. Declination is plus 10.
That's better.
Degrees, 2 minutes, 0 seconds.
All right, so we're going to be 10:02:0, right?
Yes.
If I could just maybe type that in, right? Ten 020 and 6:31. Okay. Let's do a go to now and see where that brings us. It'll bring us someplace different. Goodbye, Rosette. We'll be back. Okay, and again, Alzir is going to be our waypoint star. And then from Alzir, we will go and head to this object. Figure this out. Okay. Okay, so now we're seeing something here. Is this a dark nebula location?
Some of it is dark, yes.
This looks familiar. I might have imaged this before in a private night, but let's go check it out. Let's move over. Center up.
It says it's also known as Dreyer's Nebula, DREYER''S.
Okay.
It says it's a reflection nebula.
I see that. All right.
I hope this doesn't turn out to be a disappointment.
After all this?
Yeah.
Better not be, because I see more over here actually.
Yes.
So maybe we went the wrong way. Let's put it all over in here, because I think there's going to be more to see in this.
Yeah, I don't know the orientation of the original image, which made me think of this in the first place.
Right.
But it showed 447 on the left, 446 on the right, and there's a dark filament in between.
Okay. All right, so here it is. It's centered. Okay, there it is right there. Tim F., what's happening? Nice to see you. That's close enough. We'll be fine. All right. Okay. I think I've imaged this. All right, let's do this. Let's wait for my guide star to be captured. We've got a guide star, and we're gonna do. Should we do 65 seconds or just like 25 to start and see what we got? We'll do 25 to start. We'll just do 25 to start, just to see. All right, and then we're going to go now, do our live stack, and see what we got. Volkish Fräulein, how are you? Welcome. Nice to see you. All right, let's see what our 25-second shot yields. And we've got, boom. Uh-oh, a big nothing burger. Well, that's because we're not processed. Let's do a process. And that will change everything. Here we go. Boom. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so this is not a nothing burger. This is actually really pretty. So this is gonna look beautiful.
If I had to guess,
I have done
447 right there on the bottom. That might be 446 at the top, and it looks like a dark band running from one to the other.
Yeah, you
I assume that's the filament.
Yeah, we've done this before. I've done this before. I'm going to put this on auto. Okay, check this out. All right. Now you see the whole object, and this is the whole area. There's a beautiful nebula here. This is a nice, beautiful image. I did this one night, just doing private. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do 65 seconds here. We could do 10 minutes if we wanted to, but I'm gonna just do 65 seconds. I don't want to make people wait. Okay. So now, and Izabela says she's done this one too. So you saw us do this one before, Izabela. I'm assuming. That's good, Lokish. I'm glad you're good.
Wonder what brought you to this in the first place.
I don't know. I just saw it as a possible cool object, and so I did it. And it really does show some good details. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Because back then I didn't have the guider tuned. Now I have the guider tuned, and we can do flawless longer exposures now. Yeah, this is good. All right, so let's see now. This is which one? This is IC rather 466 and IC 467.
447, 446.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, and the image I'm referring to, it's rotated. Your image is rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise to it.
Okay.
But the big one is 447. The one directly above it with the dark nebulosity running toward it is 446. The two on the left closer together are not identified, but all four are in the image.
Okay.
And there's actually quite a bit going on here.
There is. We got a big diffuse nebula over here.
Yes.
Okay, we've stacked 5 already. Let's take our dark level over and kind of start bringing out some of the enhancement. We're going to darken up space. Actually, I'm going to first color correct, even though that looks pretty good. All right, now
I see a dark oval over on the far right.
Yes. Okay,
See that?
I do. Hold on, let me bring it back because it's kind of gone now. All right.
The dark oval on the right looks almost like a head, and the two bright stars at the upper left part look kind of like eyes.
Okay.
Has a sort of a vaguely skull-like look to it.
All right. Okay, let me I see some detail forming over here. See, the nice thing about this is as time goes on and we stack more, we get more and more detail coming out. It's like magic.
Now this brings up something I've wondered before.
Yeah.
When you were doing relatively short exposures versus relatively long exposures.
Yeah.
In the end, what the difference would be between the two.
Well, more saturation for the dark nebulae to allow them to show up better. You know.
You can actually see some fine detail in 447 there. The dark cloud. No, over in 447.
Or here.
The big one at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, here you mean?
Yes, that dark cloud right there.
Yeah.
It's got some wisps in it and stuff.
Yeah. This is nice. Let me go and pull my darks up a bit. Okay. Very good. I'm liking that. Let's get it all going here. Here we go. Look at that. Now that we know what it is, I can get rid of this for now.
I'm sending you a link, Mark.
Okay.
In our chat.
Okay.
If you want to refer to it.
All right.
And there is actually a whole lot going on here. And yeah, this image is rotated counterclockwise about 90 degrees to the apod.
I see that. Okay.
The two close together over on the left in your image, left of center. There's a lot going on just between those two also.
These right here, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting stuff going on here. We would, in order to make this more vibrant, I can try a few things. So I'm going to do this right now. Okay, pull this way up. Bear with me on this. And then after that, what I'm going to do is bring our dark level in some. Bring that down. Okay. Alright. That's looking interesting. Look at that.
Yeah.
And color. Okay, a little color correction. Goes a long way. That's beautiful. That's really pretty.
You can see that filament starting to really stand out now from
That's right.
447 to 446.
Right here.
Yes, and that whole filament's 15 light years long, they say.
Okay.
And even up at 446 there at the top, if you look at that reference image, there's a whole lot going on inside there too.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This is very nice music for this acquisition. Which you can't hear, Darrell, but that's okay. Once again, this is IC, which stands for Index Catalog number 446 and Index Catalog 447. These reflection nebulae, beautiful blues. Really nice. And what we see here, there's still more data in the images that can be drawn out. Now we've stacked 10 right now. And it just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's try what's called a push. We're going to move these lines closer to each other. As we do that, we're going to start to pull more data out, but we're also going to cause some increased noise and brightness. And then we pull the dark down to kind of balance it out a little bit and see what we're left with. Look at that.
It's developing rather nicely.
Look at that, guys. That's really pretty.
Can you zoom in some on 446 up at the top?
Yes, of course. I think last time I did this, I was really interested in what was going on right here.
Yeah, that on the left there below the bright blues point, that's 4 yellowish stars, I think.
Yeah, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Which, by the way, guys, before we serviced the telescope, we could not I couldn't separate these stars individually properly. But so now we can.
When you imaged this before, was before you collimated?
It was before before I got the focus right.
Yeah.
So now that I have the autofocus system on it, we're doing a lot better, and it makes more sense.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And you can see more now of what's going on around the two reflection areas on the left there as well.
That's right. Let's move those in now, just so you can see. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, as we talked about, guys, when you look at a dark nebula like this dark nebula is composed of dust. Now, dust is mostly silica particles or carbon particles, and it will cause scattering of the starlight. So within that dark dust, you'll see that the dark dust scatters the light, so you get for some distance away from the star, you'll get this blue sort of halos around the stars, and that's actually the reflection nebula, you know. And there's very little hydrogen gas in this region, which is why we don't see a whole lot of red. We see some. So there is some diffuse hydrogen gas that's being caused to glow. Over on the left side, we see a lot more, and that's what we're seeing here. This red is a glowing hydrogen gas, all right, that's in this region. But we're also finding that whatever hydrogen gas may be in here is overwhelmed because it's not dense enough. It's a beautiful stalk forming, a beautiful connector. Let's zoom out. Yeah, this was a very beautiful image when I imaged it last time.
Can we go to Stellarium for a minute?
Yeah. Come up, Stellarium.
Okay.
We're over here. We're over here. I'm just getting us to where we are.
Oh.
Right here.
I was just wanting to see where we are now versus where we were before, like when we were at the Rosette area.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you go straight out from here now? Zoom out some?
Yeah. So Rosette is actually quite nearby us right now. Okay. That's a Christmas tree cluster. There's the Rosette.
Okay. All right. So we're
all in the neighborhood.
We're sort of to the northwest of the Rosette.
Yeah, in the same neighborhood.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Well, it's interesting they had so much detail there once we got it in Stellarium and zoomed in on it. I mean, there's a lot in that field.
Yeah. I prefer to see it in actuality.
Sure. I guess what I was thinking, just in that Stellarium field, once we found it and zoomed in, it looked like one of those areas that they really filled it in a lot with a lot of detail.
Well, that was because that was a photo that they put in there. That's a photo insert in Stellarium, and they have that all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they did that to this in particular.
Yeah.
I suppose signifies something.
Yeah. Look at the detail developing in here. Look at this brown cloud right here. See that? Again, 16 stack. The more we stack, the more detail comes out. Let's try this. Let's see if we can pull out detail in this by playing with our levels a little bit. Let's just pull this over a little more.
Do you still have unsharp masking going on?
I do.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Look at that. Yeah. Beautiful blue cloud there. A dark brown cloud, I mean. Look at that.
Excellent.
So, guys, what do you think of this area, huh? I know we imaged it before, but now with the ability to focus the telescope far better, we get a lot more detail, a lot more bang for your buck, and of course your bucks are zero. You don't spend a dime for this. This is cool. Very cool. Very beautiful. Okay, we're gonna stop here at 17. That's gorgeous. With more time to do this, we'll actually do a lot more objects. So let's see now. Save exactly as seen. Got the FITS file saved, which is an astronomical format. You can get a free FITS file viewer online, but you don't need it. You can actually just take that pretty picture, the ping here that we just created, and that ping will be available for you to look at. Look at this little line right here.
Yeah. Can you zoom in on that again a little bit?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Because there were some real fine dark lines in there.
Yeah. It might have been an illusion.
No, I see it right there. The dark lump right below 446.
Yeah, right there.
That there's a line running up from there, and a line to the right. And there's a faint line running just below those 4 stars.
Yeah, there is.
To the left.
Yeah.
And the 2 areas over on the far left.
Much
there's
more
actually
clear
some.
now.
I see some fine dark lines in there too. One is kind of snake-shaped, sinuous right there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. There's here and there. And this guy here, it's like an H shape almost.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, this is beautiful. So we're gonna have fun processing this. It's a beautiful area. Dusty area, but beautiful nonetheless. Okay, let's clear this.
Well, thank you for indulging me.
Oh no, that's okay. But after seeing it, I realized, oh, we saw this before, and Izabela actually did too. She actually processed this when I took it last time.
I don't remember this before.
Yeah, I think I might have done it as a private one, and then it was up there. Yeah, but we'll see. All right, let's find out. Let's find out. Yeah, of course. Weird guy says, just put 2 more scopes in the same place. Oh yes, without a doubt. That's one of the. Actually, we're actually looking to do just that. Okay, let's come out of here. Yeah, if you notice, there's the horizon. Aldebaran is sitting there. Orion is here. I don't think we have a good view of Orion right now. How about that? We're up high.
Yep. Well, winter's gone and stars of winter are going away.
I don't mind. I don't like winter. But
like
when I can do it,
stars
when I can do it from in my bunker here,
Sure.
this is fine. But one thing
What
we
do
do
you-
have is Regulus.
Yep. You got galaxies now.
And we got galaxies.
M95, M96, M105,
Yeah.
M65, M66.
Oh yeah. Onward and upward. And we also have the Leo triplet. We have a bunch of galaxies right there.
Yep.
Shall we go look at galaxies?
Oh yeah.
Okay. These are 59 degrees in altitude. These will be pretty good. All right, so let's zoom in on this. And we're going to go here, shall we? M105. Here we go. Off we go. And now what I'll do is pull this out so we can see the psychedelic fun. Yay! Look at us go. Okay, move that out of the way. Alright. Notice where the telescope is going. Other side of the sky. It's going to be high, but, you know. Alright. That's the star it's probably going to bring in here, so it's probably going to come back. That's the star it's centering up. Which star is it? Is that
Regulus?
I'm guessing, yeah. Let's back out of this for a second and see. Nope. It is not Regulus. But right now we're going to get some galaxies. Yep. Yeah, we're at 43% here. I'm zoomed in a little bit, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump out a bit. We're going to autofill. We're going to fill the frame. There we go. Galaxies galore. You say, well, where are they? Well, there they are.
I see 3. I see 4.
Oh, yes. There's so many galaxies in this image. 1, 2, 3 right there.
One up the top left corner.
Yeah, I'm going to move over a little bit to kind of bring that in. Yep. Okay. Right. So now, we're going to let this capture a guide star, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a 75-second photo of this region.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right here. 75 seconds. Okay. I just wanted to let you know, Starlink is on the property out there and fully operational. But we're waiting for a special Ethernet connector so that we can connect our observatory Ethernet system to the Starlink router. And when we do, this 1 second time delay that I have here, where I have to click and then wait, goes away. Because right now we're going to a geosynchronous satellite and it's taking time for that to happen. There's a latency, it's called, between when we see our images. Yeah, I'm sorry, we see movement of the cursors. All right, so 75 seconds right now. Guide star is acquired. Let's go into the live stacking and go for it. Shall we go for it? Yes, we shall. This is good. All right. 34 seconds. 30 seconds. When we watch these galaxies forming and coming into view, there's something about these. When you look at these galaxies, you're looking at potentially millions of additional life forms of some kind. Maybe billions. And let's see what our first exposure looks like here.
Back.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
And the galaxies are overexposed because we're actually kind of going a little too high right now. We can actually cut that down a little bit. There we go.
I think I see at least 6 galaxies in the field.
Yeah, we've got we've got one. I'm not sure if that's an elliptical, but I think that's one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's gonna be more.
I think that's one right at center.
And there's one right there.
Yeah. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I see 8, maybe more.
Okay. Izabela asks, what do you think of the first image from the JWST? That's the James Webb Space Telescope. That telescope has already produced some stupendous results, and it's allowing us to see deeply into the infrared, and thus we're seeing a lot more than we've ever seen in human history. Because all the data is shifted into the red because the galaxies are moving so fast away from us. Now, you say, well, how does that even work? This is the analogy. If you imagine a balloon, you blow up the balloon to be about this big, okay? You put black dots all over it, okay? Take a Sharpie and put black dots all over it, all right? And then blow it up. The black dots farthest from you at the other end of the balloon are going to move away from you faster and move away from each other faster than those black dots near your mouth where you're blowing in. So those black dots moving faster away from you, that's an analogy to distant galaxies that are moving faster away from us, all right, because the universe is expanding and accelerating as it does so. And that process shifts the light, the data coming from the galaxies is shifted. It's called the Doppler shift. With sound, you hear it when a train goes by, or a car. Okay, it gets high as it approaches and it gets lower as it goes away. Well, getting lower as it goes away in terms of light means the light's getting redder. Blue light is energetic, so when it's coming towards you, that blue shift is very powerful. When it goes away, the light is redder and the wavelengths are longer and lower. Longer wavelength, more red light in terms of light. So if you can imagine, there are galaxies that are so far away from us on that balloon and expanding at such a way distant from us that as they do that, all of their data that we see coming from them is shifted into the infrared, and not just the infrared past the red end of the spectrum, but the far infrared, out several, like 10,000 micrometers, which is something the James Webb Space Telescope can actually see. It can see out to 24,500 micrometers, something never before seen in the history of humankind.
I know you and we talked about this a day or two ago.
Yeah.
With that, they did some close-ups off that fine line Webb image of a couple of galaxy pairs in particular. One,
the merging galaxies.
Yeah, it was the merging galaxies, and there were a couple more over on the right. And
yeah,
I expressed a thought at the time, that how would this compare already from that one test image from Webb compared to what we could see in the Webb ultra deep field, where the reddest things we could see in the Webb in the Hubble deep field image were barely visible because they were cosmically redshifted,
yes,
as you were saying, out almost to the point of invisibility. And now what we're seeing with the Webb, I wonder that it's already shown us what it's going to be capable of. Somebody in chat said earlier they talked about wondering if they were going to have to invent a new palette for the Webb.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We've talked about that. I don't think so, because we're looking in the infrared, so most likely it's going to be a shifted color palette that's going to just represent what we want to see. I don't think it's going to be a new palette. I think it's going to probably, this test image we saw, it was in the red because it's the far infrared, so people were thinking, well, it's in the red, so it should be a red image. Just like the black hole seen by the Event Horizon telescope in M97, But I think if they choose to do a new palette, it'd just be arbitrary. There's nothing calling for a new palette. There's no reason to make a new palette.
Oh, I've mentioned before, they did with Spitzer. They're basically just assigned colors, but like at different infrared frequencies, you know, they said, okay, we'll call this frequency green, we'll call this frequency red, this frequency yellow, and that Spitzer video I referenced before, the floating along the Milky Way video, makes a beautiful color image.
Yeah,
you have to realize that the colors are false colors, but it's still very pleasing.
Yep, I mean, they are.
And I'm sure they'll do something similar in this case, you know, if they can detect, you know, the different wavelengths or different ranges of wavelengths, that they'll call some red, they'll call some blue, they'll call some green. And hopefully they'll try to construct, you know, color images.
Well, they're gonna. They will, without a doubt.
So what do we got here? We got 95 and 96 below center, and another one next to it.
Yeah, this. Look at this. This galaxy's got some really interesting detail in it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It does.
That's really interesting. Really interesting. And we could be looking at billions of living things right now.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is really interesting. This is a fairly young galaxy, because if you look at it, you see there's a lot of blue light. That means young hot stars. This galaxy is more mature, a lot of yellow stars in it, stars that have gone through evolution from their hot young stage. Like Betelgeuse was a hot blue star just a few tens of thousands of years ago, actually, and then it became a red supergiant, and that to go from that blue hot star to the supergiant stage was only a few tens of thousands of years, maybe 10 to 20,000, the time frame. And of course it's going to explode in a blink of an eye, and maybe it already has, and that light is still getting to us.
Of the three galaxies in that triangle right there, the one really close to your pointer right now, if you could zoom back in on that for a second, there appeared to be a bright spot just to the right of the nucleus of the galaxy. Maybe it's just a foreground star, but you see it? That right there.
Yeah, interesting.
And there's another bright area to the right of your pointer. Just to the right.
Right here?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, with the noise at this zoom level, I mean, we're at 182% zoom right now. So this is 95% zoom. This puts us at the almost the full scale of the image here. And Vera Lucia Campos is here. You're the second person from Brazil here tonight, Vera. How about that? There's another one.
There is?
Yes.
Who was it?
Oh, you don't remember him? His name was in all caps.
Help me out.
Began with a D. His name was Dudu Mavig.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
Remember?
I remember now, yes.
Yeah.
How do you know he's from Brazil? Did he say so?
Yep.
Okay, I missed that.
Actually, he's from Rio de Janeiro. See, Vera gives us a smiley hug and a purple heart. Very cool. Okay, so this image here, let's go out to maximum size here. All right, to auto. All right, and we'll
Is that M105 at the upper left?
let's find out. First of all, I should have. Yes, right here. Now I can do it. All right, this is where we are right now. And it's no, M105 is the.
Oh, okay. We are.
Yeah, see, this is 3384 on the left here. 3389, which is that one that has a really cool detail we're looking at it in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then M105 is, this guy right here.
Yes. And M95 and 96 are out of field to the lower right.
Yeah, they're out of field. We'll go down. We'll go
All
check them out. We'll go check them out. So M95 and 96 are actually more impressive than any of the ones we just been looking at. So I'm going to go grab those right now. So let's, first of all, this is, we're going to say M105 and friends. Okay. And we're going to say pause the stack. We stacked 10 of these. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, good. And we'll say save this, and then we'll get our fits file save, and now we're going to do save exactly as seen. There we go. And now our ping file, so you can see it exactly as you want. And now we're going to actually come in here and clear this. And then head down. So we'll go from 75 seconds down to 1 second. And maximize our field here to get our extended view. And now we're going to drop down. As we go down, we're going to see 2 more galaxies come into the view. And here they come. Here they are. That's M95 and M96. So we'll bring those in. Okay, one more. All right. And that looks good. So now we're going to let ourselves capture a guide star. And then we'll go check out all the beings that are looking back at us from here.
And you still have the M105 group up at the top left.
I do, part of them, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, they're all there. Well, you know what? Why don't we frame them in there with it? So there we go. We'll put them in.
There's plenty.
Yeah, well, I want to get them away from the edges of the field anyway. Okay. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to do... You know, actually, we're just going to do a 35-second exposure because it's going to overexpose these galaxies. Our system is so much faster than a regular telescope system. It's 25 times faster than the native telescope would normally be. So I think we're just going to do this. So let's do that. Alright, so we should have our guide star by now. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, and then we're going to come in here. First clear this stack because we had a previous one. And now we'll see the image. Alright.
Izabela's asking you a question.
Yeah. I did save it. It should be there. So if it's, they'll go up in order, and but sometimes they're a little late. I can check. That'd be kind of sad if I didn't save it though. And it'll be Izabela's fault.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. While we're waiting, I'm gonna minimize this. Right, while it's still taking pictures. And then I'm gonna come over here and minimize this guy. And go into my folder. And for 3/22/2022, we should see the directories. Oh no. Did I not do it? Oh, Izabela could be right.
Well, some people's kids.
I thought I did this. What about under the capture? Is that just gonna be a Orion Nebula? Let's take a look. Yeah. Oh, Izabela. I can't believe I did that. Ugh. Once in a while, I actually did that. Can you believe it? I'm sorry. And that was your object, Darrell.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Don't blame Izabela.
No, of course not.
Blame me.
No, blame me. It was my fault. Okay. Well, maybe we should just go do it again. Alright. Let's see what time is it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here. I think we can go do it again. I think it's only fair to go do it again. Actually, I still have the coordinates over here, Darrell. I just have to say go to and it'll be there again.
Okay.
This is beautiful though, this galaxy
yeah.
pair down here. Let's do this and let's try some of this. Do a little processing. Let's take a look.
I was thinking something was off earlier when we had M105 close to the center of the field that what I was thinking was 95 and 96.
Yeah.
I know we weren't seeing enough detail like we see here now with them.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to be getting rid of these streaks. These streaks are killing me. Alright, so...
I noticed that earlier.
Look at that.
Can't blame it on the moon.
No.
Well, both of them have a really nice spiral structure.
Yeah. I'll wait for these to come in because they're only 35 seconds. If I had gone any longer, this would just be blown out. Is this a Bode spiral?
Kind of looks like it. Looks almost like a steering. It's almost like a steering wheel in the middle.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yep, that's a Bode spiral.
Yeah, a Bode spiral, guys, is a galaxy that doesn't just have spiral arms coming out of the nucleus. It has this extended nucleus, and the spiral arms come off of that. And that's what we're seeing here is a Bode spiral.
Yeah. Milky Way is supposedly a Bode spiral.
Yeah, that's right. Our little home away from home. Let me move over. See, this looks like a regular spiral.
It looks almost like a Bode spiral there too, though.
It does have a little bit of that effect, doesn't it? Because you see, it comes out the end, and then it comes around, then it comes out this end, it goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be. As I look at it.
I'd
Very
have
cool.
to look them up.
Yeah.
Oh, cool beans.
Yeah. Okay, we've stacked 10 so far. Let's see if we can actually get a better process. Let's do this. This will work.
Gee, it's only 10:04 p.m. in Arizona.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. I think we're even seeing some H2 regions in this galaxy. Look at this. These?
Yes, yes.
Those are H2 regions like Orion Nebulas or Eta Carina Nebulas. See how they're red? These are star-forming regions millions of light years away in the galaxy. Yeah, and then on this galaxy over here, let's see what we got here. We can see some knots in here as well. And dark lanes. Look at that. Really pretty. And that's just from stacking 11 images. And for those that don't understand what stacking is, some of you do. We take an image, okay? We take another image. We align them together to line them right up, and we put that on top of put them on top of each other, and we just make an image sandwich all the way up. And then that actually makes sure that any details of data that are in there, whether it's dark nebula or not. If it's a dark nebula, more and more dark nebula is stacked so that that dark nebula data rises above the noise that's down at the bottom. The noise usually seen in the background here. That's what we're avoiding. Okay. So this is measure 95 and 6, right?
Yes.
And M96. Okay. So now I didn't put up the name because I didn't put up the name. So I'm going to come up here and so there, that's the reason. Isn't that great? So I'll pause this and save it. And then we'll come down here, save it exactly as seen, in the ping file. And there it is. So now we can clear, go back to that image that we were supposed to do before, which is right here. So we're going to go and do that. I was also explaining what we mean by right ascension and declination. If you look going east to west in the sky, we call that right ascension. What is that? It's given in hours, minutes, and seconds. Why the heck is that? Because in 24 hours, we go 360 degrees. That's 15 degrees per hour. So we define these objects in space as being at a certain hour, minute, and second location in this space. That doesn't really change that much, right, over time. It does, but not by much. And then, as the Earth rotates, the whole Earth is rotating, and those hours, minutes, and seconds rotate with it. Okay? And so, in other words, in this location, oh look, we got a little wind just there. That's amazing. That's the first time we saw wind. So as the sky rotates, as the Earth rotates out from under the stars, we'll actually see that the hours stay the same. Okay, so this location here will always be at the same right ascension, and right ascension east-west, hours, minutes, and seconds. And declination is the up and down angle from the celestial equator extended out into space. So 0
north
degrees.
And south.
North and south, yes. And 0 degrees is going to be out at an angle that is the same as the angle of the Earth's axis of tilt, because the way it's tilted. And thus we have north 90 and minus 90, right? Look at that, we're getting wind now. Do you see that? It's the first time tonight we've ever had wind. The wind must be picking up. Well, let's do this. Let's do a go-to now on this previous coordinate. And that'll take us back to our little our nice reflection nebulae.
IC 447
and IC 446. Boy, look at those. That's Alzir again, huh? Yep. Alzir. Alzir.
Yep, you're back in the western sky now.
I sure am. Let's hope there's not wind over here, because that would kind of halt our night. Okay, now once Alzir is centered, we're going to go back to that reflection nebula and be able to capture it. Oh, there it is. Right here. So we're going to go back this way again and do this again. Ay, ay, ay. Can't believe I did that. Okay.
Windy says you have a 9-knot wind.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful about that, because when it gets to 10, we don't want to... We don't want to do that. Alright, so let's bring this up. Bring it up. There we go.
It's interesting. The two objects on the left that are closer together,
yeah,
are actually brighter than 447 and 446.
Yeah.
At least until you integrate the image some and, stack it, you'll see that 447 will get a lot bigger because of the reflection nebula.
Yeah. A weird guy says, if we tied Mark up, blindfolded him, and dropped him off at a random location, he could figure out where he was just by looking up. And you're absolutely right. Because directly overhead is always your latitude. Always your latitude. And then you can figure out your longitude based on the stars and the time of night.
Your latitude is how many degrees up the North Star is.
Yes.
Then plus 50 would be overhead.
Yeah, but if you want to know where you are, right? If you look, okay. North Star is going to be elevated, like, say, 41 degrees for me in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So it'd be 49 degrees to be overhead. Plus 49 to be overhead.
Yeah. So what you have to do is, if you can't see the North Star, you can still figure it out from looking straight up. Let me start this exposure and I can explain. All right. What did we do here? We did 60 seconds?
I think it was 65.
Okay. Okay, then just to be fun, let's do 75.
You might jog it down just a little bit first.
Yeah, let me first do. I did the wrong thing here. We're gonna do 75 seconds, but I'm gonna increase the gain as well. So I'll go to 340 is actually pretty good, but I'm gonna do 350. All right, 350, 75 seconds, and I'm gonna drop it down a little bit. And I shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to have to go back to 1 second now for a second. Oh, yes, I know. Okay. That's pretty good. That's too much.
I think you want the other down.
Because this one...
well, you want to go up.
Yeah. Because this is... We want this in here.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
The other down.
The other down. Okay. Okay. Alright, this is gonna work. Okay, good. Now we wait 12 seconds, 11, 12 seconds to get our guide star. And... oh, heck, I'm gonna do 120 seconds. Damn it. I'm gonna do 2 minutes. And see what we get. If that doesn't work, then we'll just do a short exposure. Because we were very close to seeing it at 350 with a higher gain. And this, if this works, okay, we have our guide star now. So now, off we go. And if this works, this should be a spectacular object. Roger that. Roger that. Hey, come on, pull me up. That's better.
So you were saying before about latitude while we wait.
Yes, the clues. Okay, I'm trying to remember how I did this, because I've actually been lost in the woods, and by looking straight up, I was able to figure out where I was. And by the time of night and the season, I knew what stars should be where at what time of night, and
Sure.
that told me the location. But by looking up, I think I actually okay. You know what I did? I subtracted from the celestial equator. That's what it was.
I was about to say.
Equator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing where the celestial equator was, I was able to figure it all out. Yeah.
And if
I
you can
I couldn't see the North Star.
yeah, if you can see the belt of Orion, that's pretty much celestial equator.
Yeah. Thank you, Izabela.
Thank you, Izabela.
That girl's amazing. She's the most incredible person. Yeah, she does all this work for us. I mean, I don't know. I can't say enough about her. I'm embarrassing her now because she's listening. Shh, don't say anything. She gets embarrassed. She's so cool. Okay, here we go. 4 seconds. Let's see if this works.
I need to get with you, Izabela. I was going to
Alright, this is good.
teach you something. I remember what it was.
What were you going to teach her?
How to find the Milky Way in the summertime.
How to find the Milky Way in the summertime?
Yeah, her bearings are off. She mentioned this fairly recently, and I think her bearings were off a little bit.
Okay.
Basically, I just wanted to show her, I guess, how to get around the stellarium.
Okay. Let's zoom in here and see if our 2-minute shot is reasonable. It's not unreasonable. It looks...
Picked up the nebulosity nicely already.
Yeah, so now we're just going to stack a few of these. Because I want to get this dark nebula. Yeah, I know Jessica. She's very cool. Izabela spends all this time giving us a table of contents and taking care of that. It's just spectacular, And then on top of it, she's putting up the links every moment when you have something up there. I think that is just incredible. So show her some love, guys. You thank her publicly right here. I thank you, Izabela. Izabela Melamed from Sofia, Bulgaria. Cindy Murphy says, 50 years ago, I got caught late in the woods. So dark I couldn't see my head and hand in front of my face on my horse, and I followed the North Star to get back to the barn. Yeah, you know what? Very good. That's cool. Knowing where the North Star is a very important thing as well. Vera says compliments for you too, Izabela. See that? Oh, see, Cindy's saying nice things too. You're doing okay, Izabela. You're helping us tremendously. You're an amazing person, and I'm really, really pleased. Okay, why did we get one image ignored? It says we ignored an image, so we lost a whole 120-second image. Why is that? It doesn't tell me. That's the problem. Had an issue stacking it.
Must be cursed.
No. If it ignores the next one, I'll make some changes here.
Shorter exposures, maybe?
I think the problem is actually there's so many stars that it can't do an alignment. Because they're running together. It could be the guiding, actually. The guiding might not be perfect. But we'll see. Let's find out what it wants to do here. Alright, let me do this. This does not at all affect what the sensor sees. The sensor sees the raw data, and that's what it's using to do all the stacking. So if there's something that's causing a problem, we have to kind of just try to figure out what that is. Alright, we're coming up now, 7 seconds. Let's see if it says 1 stacked, 2 ignored. If it says 2 stacked, 1 ignored, we'll let it go. Okay, 2 ignored. We're done. Let's clear this. Alright, and we're going to go back and do 75 seconds. Okay, we're starting over at 75 seconds. Stacking. Clear the stack. Alright. I started yawning. Yes, Vera Lucia Campos brings up a good point. Down where she is, there is no North Star. So what she sees is the Southern Cross. And she has no southern pole star of any merit, so that's another problem.
I think if I could see the great and the smaller Magellanic Clouds, the southern pole star Sigma Octans makes pretty much equilateral triangle with them, and
you get close.
Yeah, if I could see the Magellanic Clouds and watch them rotate for a while, I think I could make a pretty good guess at Sigma Octans and make a pretty close guess to the South Pole.
I guess you're right. Okay, this image looks like it doesn't have any of that little guiding error. I think we had wind.
Could be.
He's got the winds.
Are you sending Morse code to somebody?
Yep. I did.
Okay.
C&D boy, how you doing? That's our Canada friend. Canada boy. See, Vera says she's never seen them because the night sky is so polluted.
Oh.
They can get lost. Yep. No doubt. Okay, see, we stacked 2, ignored 0, so we're stacking properly now.
Okay.
Can you let me go for a minute? I gotta go do
Sure.
something. I'll be right back. I gotta get a drink. I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
Mind the store, Darrell. I'll be right back, folks.
I shall. Yeah, Vera, light pollution sucks. And it's only getting worse. I've been seeing a fair number of articles about it recently. It's back in the 1990s, I belonged to an organization called the IDA, the International Dark Sky Association. And its mission was to combat light pollution. And I did some consciousness raising here in my town I live in, and they have light pollution regulations on the book, but they have never enforced them well, both the city and the county. And I banged the drums about light pollution, and I'm sure it was just coincidence, but the city wound up going with full cutoff sodium low pressure lights, and they were full cutoff, so they were shining straight down, and it did help a lot. Some people gave me credit for that, but I don't want that. I think the city was in the process anyway. And things got a little better for a while, but ultimately I think it was a fool's errand, because since the late 90s when I did that, it has gotten 10 times worse here. They don't care. People just don't care. And you try to talk about it and they think you're crazy. People love them their lights.
That's why you enforce the dark sky rules. You know?
Well, yeah.
And, Colorado doesn't, but Arizona does. They have dark sky enforcement. You cannot put a light that aims up at your tree because it looks so pretty.
Right.
You can't do it.
That's an example of architectural lighting.
Yep, can't do it.
Yep. And they pay lip service to it here, but they don't enforce it well. The county was really bad about it, but the city is too. I've known for years that downtown here, they like putting up these zero cutoff Victorian style street lights. And what we have for high rise buildings here in town, downtown, they're really great at lighting those buildings up at night, you know, and I think that's part of the idea again behind the architectural lighting. But they are putting up more and more of those zero cutoff Victorian lights now all over town, and it looks awful. They're plus they're LED lights now, and they're blindingly
so they're blue.
Yep, and they're blindingly bright. They dazzle your eyes really bad, and they're actually counterproductive because instead of shining light where they need it, they're shining the light directly in your eyes, so you can't see to drive or walk at night. You know, they're just all you see is bright lights.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I started talking about this while you were gone. I think it's, it's inevitable, and it's a losing battle is what it is, which
There's
really
a
makes me sad.
there's a way to shine that light in a way that's less invasive, and one way is to actually put the fixture in the base, and then at the top there's a reflector that's curved like this, and the light goes up to the reflector and then shines down. So the light is facing down, aiming up, but the reflector on top captures the light and reflects it down. So, and you don't get the angle of light in your eye. You only get that when you have the source of the light right in your face, the LED. When the LED is deep in the socket and hits the reflector, then you only get a subtle glow, and that's the lights around here.
Well, the first rule is no light should shine higher than itself. You can interpret that as meaning that no light every light should be shining straight down.
Yeah.
And it should not be directly visible from off your property. That's called light trespass.
Yep, it is. Like your neighbor.
Yep.
Wow, this is pretty. This is very pretty. Let's see what it wants to do. Okay, that's too much. I'm going to pull this back a little for the hump. And then we're going to come through here and bring this in. This is a stretch. There we go. And now if you look, you can see this beautiful area here. This is 7 stacked. Actually, this has picked up some cool stuff over here. Look at that. I think it's part of the Christmas tree.
Hmm.
I think this is the start of possibly what's near the Christmas tree nebula. I think this is all part of the Christmas tree cluster.
I think we're framed a little different than we were earlier.
Yeah. Let me just
I
take
don't
a look
think
here.
that distinct stuff at the top left was showing up like it is now.
No, it wasn't. Okay. We're gotta go back over to the west. Because I just went to the go-to here. Okay, so we're leaning over pretty far here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There we go. All right. Yeah, see, that's part of the Christmas tree. See, we're here, and then we have the Christmas tree cluster with this stuff up here is part of what is the beginning of the Fox-Fur Nebula.
Okay.
Which is up in this region here. So we're seeing some of that overflow. I think that this, coupled with this, and brought down to this would make one heck of a composite, which you can't do tonight.
A mosaic, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. A mosaic of this entire region would be beautiful. Put the Rosette in there as well. That'd be pretty. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay, we stacked 9. We're about to come up on 10. And we'll end with that. I think we did a good recovery here.
Okay.
And this time, Izabela, I'm gonna save it. Okay, so now we have 10. And we're gonna pause this. Save it. There's our stack. And then we're going to save it exactly as seen. There we go. Not bad.
Super.
And then we'll clear and get out of the stack. Okay, go to 1 second and then go to our expanded view here to kind of what I call a hyper view, which allows us to see the details. Boom and pow. There we go. Bam! And we still have to do the dolphin head, but I think we gotta do that earlier in the night.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be too low.
I find that interesting that, I mean, does that say that they thought that area interesting enough that they would lay in a photograph like that?
Yeah. Just like they did for the Rosette.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is quite a region, isn't it? All right. And then let's see.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, this I can't do this because now it's leaning way over. So maybe if we can do it again tomorrow, we can actually capture some more of those things for one last hurrah. See how low they are?
Oh yeah.
And the wall of the observatory is here. Now, on a night like tonight, if I had my lifting columns on this, I could actually lift the telescope up higher above the wall, and we would actually be able to image out there.
Yeah.
I think that would work fine. I really do.
Yeah. Well, stars of winter are going away.
Yep.
See Rydell's almost down to the horizon now.
Yeah, it's almost midnight out there. So, getting there. Izabela likes Gymnopedia now, this song. Number 2.
What's it called?
Gymnopedia.
Hmm.
Gymnopedia.
Okay.
Yeah. Where is this? This is, yeah, that's going to be...
M3 globular, it's near Arcturus, sir.
Yeah, I know, but it's actually...
We've looked at it before.
Yeah, it's low. It's going to be too low for us. Let's go up here.
I'm going to hang around for one more object, and I'm going to have to call it a night.
Okay. You're going to have to call it a night. It's 1:38 here. It's 11:38 for you. Right?
Yep. 11:38.
Yeah.
Oh, this, okay. You've heard me complain about daylight savings time before, and how the time change weirds me out. This year I have found that, well, you would think with the time shift that if I had been going to bed at midnight, I would start going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? Because that's actual midnight now.
Yes.
It is 1 in the morning on daylight savings time. But I had been going to bed at 11:30 at night, which is actually 10:30 at night. I went the other way this year.
Okay.
And I'm sleeping like a log, so The system must like it, but
Yeah.
it's just really got me out of sorts.
Right.
I'll get used to it in another week.
I hope so. All right, we're gonna do one last object. We're gonna do Bode's Galaxies, and they're gonna be, as you can see, the telescope's gonna be pointing way that way, toward the north. It's gonna probably pick Dubhe, in Ursa Major, as a waypoint star. Let's see if that's true. Looks like it's on Dubhe.
Yep.
And then it's gonna go off to Bode's Galaxy, which is about as high in the sky as it can get for us right now. So it'll look the best it can be. All right.
Messier 81.
Yep. 81, 82. This is gonna be beautiful, hopefully. All right, and now down to the galaxies. You'll see them. There they are. Okay, and that's Messier 81 and Messier 82. All right. Okay, we have control relinquished. We have it back. And now we're gonna move these up in the field. Hey, Science Bob, how are you?
Thank you, Izabela.
Oh yes, thank you so much. And let me see if I can grab our objects here. These might be already defined. I'm sure they are. There they are. Oh wait. Oh, there they are, right there. Boom. All right. All right, now, because our telescope is so well guiding, I'm going to do a 60-second shot here because I want to try and get the subtleties of M81. M82 is going to be just blown right out of the water. It's going to be too bright. We might see the subtle red hydrogen gas that's being illuminated. But, oh, we got wind. See that? We had a little bit of wind. So maybe what I should do is... Yeah, look at that. It's doing it again. Oh, that's a lot of wind. Alright, this might be a... Yeah, see what we're getting? Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, folks, that's going to abort this. This is wind. The telescope is basically, it's clamped, right? But the wind is forcing the telescope to stretch a little bit, and that's not good for the telescope. So, at this point, I don't think we're going to be able to image this.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Wind happens.
Right. It does. Right, so
wind goes downhill, too.
What's that?
Wind goes downhill, too.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's not funny tonight. That's okay. Don't worry, there's nights where it's really crisp and clear here. Okay, you know what? Why don't we just see if I can do a 35-second shot? I can see that I can't, but... Jesus. Alright, we're gonna try it. Here we go. It's probably not gonna work. Science Bob, make sure you get out on the server so you can see all the things we took images of tonight. Wait, it must have been like 6, 7 objects, or 4 or 5, 6 objects.
At least.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if this worked. Well, it's possible. So let's do a controlled process on this and see if we've got anything that looks good. Not sure. Let me zoom in and see if the stars are proper. No. Nope, they're not.
Oblong.
Yeah. But just to get an idea, see how good this is going to look? Look how good this is going to look. We get a nice clear shot. Oh. Well, there you go. Always leave them mounting a little more. So if it's not as windy tomorrow, and it shouldn't be actually. I saw the winds are going to die down.
Yeah.
They said it was going to get windier by 2 a.m. and it sure is. So we're going to abort this. We're not even going to save it, and we'll go down to 1 second and get back to. All right, do this, do that, and get us back to our original view here.
Oh, it was great while it lasted.
Oh yeah, no, I saw on the weather that the wind was going to pick up in the middle of the night around 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
In the morning, but it's only 10:45 out there. But I guess it's a little early. All right. Well, there we go. And
it's supposed to start warming up and mellow out here. It's going to be in the 70s by the weekend.
Yeah, that means it's going to be 125 at the observatory.
It's already been getting hot out there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me tonight, Mark, and thank you for indulging me with
of course.
IC447. And everybody, thank you for coming tonight. It's been fun. It's been real. Missed y'all. We haven't been on in a little while.
Yeah, that's because of the moon. C&D Boy says, Mark, it was cool to see you on the new show. Which one are you talking about, C&D? Which show did you see? He'll get back. Anyway, yeah, folks, this is good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to park the telescope. And I can park now. We're in that mode where I can park this. And it's going to set our telescope back to a reset position where we can begin again anew. You'll watch the telescope over my head go zipping around, finding its way. You look right there. It says slewing the telescope. And the telescope's going to come down over the top and just sit level, hopefully pointing right at us, so to speak. And then once it reaches that spot, we'll be able to shut it off because it'll say right there, it'll say turn the scope off. All right, so ready? Parking scope, slewing, turn the scope off, and boom, I'm turning it off. Lights go out, telescope is out. All right, so now I can disconnect and we'll be all set. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for the compliment, C&D.
Did you see he mentioned the show there?
I saw a show. Which show did he mention?
The Proof is Out There.
Oh, The Proof is Out There. Yeah. I'm shooting the next season April 4th here, so that's gonna be cool. All right, so we're parked there. Yeah. You notice now with the telescope off, notice the stars are kind of going slowly to the side here. You watch them and see they're moving. You know what you're seeing? You're watching the rotation of the Earth. That's the gigantic sphere planet that we're on, rotating slowly out from under the stars. Yet it's rotating at over 1,000 miles an hour. The people don't see that, but it's so big that 1,000 miles an hour is imperceptible to us on the planet, except for when we do things like this. Isn't that cool? All right. Well, you
Mark,
guys have been
thank
great.
you for having me.
Oh, Darrell, sure. I know you've been trying to get back to get to sleep. I apologize. Well, we'll see you again maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a holler. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody, and we'll see you later. Thanks, Darrell. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, you take care. Good night, all.
All right, bye, Darrell.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So now we are set. And the only thing left to do is to... I'm going to quit all this right here. Because we're set. I'm going to close this camera. And get rid of that. And then this is it. So now what's left to do is to just shut the roof. And we're going to do that very simply. Because we are going to take this guy. Not that guy, sorry. I meant this guy. Right here. Right, and now we're going to shut the roof. Right, here we go. Da-da-da. 2,500 miles away. It's just, I don't know, that simple thing is so silly to me. You know, there we go. And the telescope is safe once again. There we go. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you, well, soon enough. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow. So you guys, see you later. Thank you for coming out. I had a great night. I hope you did too. We'll see ya.